G'day everyone and welcome back on board. This week we take off on our second overnight sail from Milford Haven up to Strangford Lough. We have some great sailing conditions, we get slightly carried away in Ramsey Sound, and then we develop a major engine fault just as we're about to take on the extremely difficult tides of Strangford Lough. Stay watching all the way to the end and don't forget to hit like, subscribe and share with your friends. Enjoy the video. Hi, we are Sally and Tony, a couple of middle-aged Aussies who have decided to combine our passions with our work on our 2004 Oyster 56 called Osprey. We intend to sail as many oceans for as long as we're able and to create a network of friends and crew to join us on board as we sail the world in search of adventure. If you saw our last video, you'd know that we're now inviting people to come sailing with us. So if you'd like to join us in the jump on board to the website ospreysailingadventures.com. All the information's there. Oh, we got some wind, Julie. The sound that greeted us this morning was the sound of the water pump failing. Whilst I was off the boat, the water tank had run dry, and that noise running in the background for 3 hours had not meant anything to Tony. But we didn't have time to fix it. We have 2 water pumps, so one will continue to run without the other, and we have to go. We've got a great weather window and we're heading to Northern Ireland. Leaving Milford Haven. Stunning day, chilly, but we've got a lovely westerly going to push us on a voyage up to Northern Ireland. This is our little lunch spot, Skomer, on the south side of Skomer Island. Some cliffs and caves. It's a little bit bouncy in here, it's not too bad. It's famous for its puffins, which there are thousands of them. Really pretty spot. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but on the water over there, there's just 1,000 little birds, tiny little things, all sitting on the water, flying. Our lunch stop at Skomer was timed to coincide with the tides running north past South Bishop Rock, and to get up to Northern Ireland So the wind was a bit strong for Jack Sound and the tides weren't quite right either, and to get Jack Sound and Ramsey Sound together and make it up to Strangford Lough with the right timing just wasn't going to work for us. So we decided to give Jack Sound a miss, turn right out of Skomer and head up round South Bishop Rock. The wind had shifted and we were pretty much hard on the nose, and it was going to be a 50-mile beat to windward to get round the lighthouse before being able to ease off and head up the Irish Sea. However, if we eased off now, we could go through Ramsey Sound on a beautiful broad reach and just keep reaching all the way to Northern Ireland. So a quick check of the charts, quick check of the books, seemed like everything was right. So off we went. Now, I have to say, Tony wasn't overly keen at this point. He would rather take the long and slow and steady route, but I'm always up for a challenge. So off we went. Anyway, halfway down the channel, towards the bottom end of the sound, there's a rock, and it's called the Bitches. Now, when something on a chart is called the Bitches, there's a reason for it. It's not just because somebody was having a bad day. So we're coming into Ramsey Sound. Beautiful broad reach. The wind was easing slightly, but we still had 10 to 15 knots of breeze, and we were doing 8 to 9 knots as it was. So we were coming in quite fast. Anyway, I decided just to, because I didn't know what the currents were going to be like when we got to the Bitches, and it's well documented that there's lots of swirls and tidal races. So just to be sure, I put the engine on. I also had Tony on the head sail, because if we were going to get caught by a current, I needed him to be able to control that sail as quickly as possible. Now, because we're cutter rigged, our head sail does not go through. We have to furl it if we want to tack, or if we want to go through the eye of the wind. So we don't have a huge amount of sway when it comes to how far we turn. So I've got the engine just in tick over, and we're going along. We went past the Bitches and I thought, well, that wasn't very exciting, and then all of a sudden this undercurrent caught us and pretty much spun us 45 degrees up to the Bitches. So I gave it full throttle on the engine and we rocketed out of there at about 14 knots. It was great fun. We then had a much more gentle sail coming out of Ramsey Sound, although it was pretty fast, at about 12 knots, and headed our way up into the Irish Sea to get ready into our night watch. Birds are following my lure. My fishing line out. out a few hours, haven't caught anything yet. Got a pink squidgy on the end of it. Trying a pink squidgy today. The birds are very interested. Rolling along towards Strangford Lough. Over there is somewhere is Carlingford Lough, home of Horse First, for those of you that remember the supplements I used to sell. And today we're going to Strangford Lough, which is up there somewhere. So the wind has died off. We've had a cracking night sail. 20 knots of breeze for most of it. Over there actually, don't know if you can see it, but over there is Wales. And that's Holyhead, I think. Yeah, so we've had a cracking sail, 20 knots of breeze. The wind died off in the middle of the night, so we dropped down to about 5 knots, but for the most of it we've been doing 8 to 10 knots. So as you saw, we had a few seagulls chasing the lure, and unfortunately one of them decided to take a kamikaze dive and pick up the lure. What was kind of funny was that he kept on flying, and while he's flying, all his mates are trying to pinch the pink squidgy out of his beak, and he's desperately trying to get rid of it. So as soon as I realised what was happening, I started wheeling the line in as fast as I could. I'm calling for Tony to grab a towel and a pair of pliers, and I'm wheeling him in, and he's flying till he got to pretty much level with the dinghy, and then he flopped into the water. Well, I thought he was going to die, and I wound and wound and wound and wound, by which time Tony had appeared with the towel and the pliers, grabbed him by the neck and said he's still alive. So we quickly got the hook out of his beak and pumped him on the back of the dinghy, where he took a little bit of time to recover. All was well until we got a squall, and then all of a sudden he disappeared. So I like to think that he flew off, because he was there for a good couple of hours. Are you comfy, dear? Nice and warm. This is supposed to be summer. As we approached Strangford Lough, I was just doing some preparations for going over the bar and up the river. It's a very tricky tidal navigational area, and I just went and checked the engine and did some basic things. We'd done a little bit of motoring for a couple of hours, so I went down to check the engine and discovered that we'd sprung a leak. Now this is in our water cooling, which means ultimately we couldn't use the engine.
Take you there.